Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's always good to see you. I'm now doing what I said I would do. In my last additives video, I mentioned that I was going to use all of those additives in a soap. And so what I did is into each of those tablespoons of additives, I've added 2 tablespoons of sweet almond oil and let them soak overnight. And now I'm going to make up an 18-part soap. I'm just going to pour it into the mold, nothing too special, in a large slab mold. And I'm basically going to add equal parts fragrance and soap batter with each of these additives and then pour them in one at a time in sort of a non-specific pattern, just to try to get some kind of a look. Now, you'll notice that a great deal of these are dark, and as such, there's a risk that this will be a very dark soap. However, this isn't as much about the appearance of the soap as it is just a showcase of how to use all of these things. And would you normally use this many additives in a single soap? Probably not. This is going to be a very heavy exfoliation soap. I bet there's a better way to say that, but that's what I got for now. With the citrus, the flax, the walnut, the leaves from the peppermint, and the nettle, this is going to be very much an exfoliation soap, which is great. If you're a baker and you've got dough all over your hands, or you're a mechanic and you're covered in grease, or you've been out in the garden and you've got mud under your nails and all of your hands, this is a great soap for that. And these kind of soaps can come out looking more like a science experiment than what most would consider a beautiful soap, but I'm okay with that. It's so much fun, and I just want you to join me for the fun. So let's get started. So I'm bringing this to a light trace, and quite frankly, that's not too difficult with this because I'm using more liquids oils than I normally do, and fewer hard oils or butters, because I wanted this to stay fluid. And when you're doing 18 parts, that's really important, because I'm adding all the lye in at once, which I've already done, and then I have my fragrance oils, which is a blend of essential oils. I said fragrance oils, I mean essential oils. There are 7 different essential oils that I've blended together here. It's a custom blend, and I think it's going to go perfect with this soap, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So I'm starting out here with the chamomile, and I'm adding in my fragrance at about an 1/18, and this is all by eye, and the batter. And basically I'll be mixing each of these individually, as I'm doing here, and sort of adding them haphazardly to the mold. I love doing this, and I know all we soapers love making this and our soaps, and I hope you take as much joy in it if you make soap as I do. Next, I'm going to be mixing in the neem powder. I love the smell of this. Here we have the sandalwood, which adds its own unique fragrance profile to this. Now this is the stinging nettle, and I will say that because I'm adding this in as just a shredded leaf rather than powdering it, it didn't add as much color as normally it does to my soap mixes. This is the olive leaf powder. Which I think adds a really nice lip and soap, very similar to kaolin clay. And this is the peppermint leaf. And as with the nettle, because it's in leaf form and not a powder, it doesn't add as much color as it does texture. One that's familiar to many of you, the Canet Root powder. And it adds some much needed color here. After all the green and yellows, it really helps to have a deeper color. And the Canet Root certainly offers that. Now with all of these, I start out with a deeper pour and then go a little more shallow on the second round here. So you get some layering underneath and some on top. And this is the Canet Root, another one that's familiar to many of you. One of my favorites, actually. And it can be somewhat unpredictable. Sometimes you can get a purple, sometimes you can get a burgundy, sometimes you can get a brownish red, which is basically what I got here. And I kind of like that about it. The wheatgrass adds a really nice deep dark green. Now I'm not a fan of the taste of wheatgrass. I know a lot of people do like it. Not me. My mother liked it. Not me. It tastes like eating the lawn. This is the ground pumice stone, and it does turn a very light green when it's wet. Not sure why. And some of that too could be off the whisk or the spatula from some of the other blends. But I like the way it looks as it all starts to swirl in together. It's so pretty to me. This is the tomato powder. Now, I will tell you, don't put your tomato powder in oil. Do it in water first. I did it this way specifically because I just don't want to deal with the hassle of having some in a water mix and having to add that to the water phase. It would have just been a hassle for me. So I just did it in oil. But as such, it creates more sort of little tomatoey powder clumps throughout the soap, which is not a problem for me, and especially in this type of soap, in an artistic soap as it were. But anyway, that's that. And I'm now adding in the black walnut shell. And yes, I have edited this heavily, only because this would be an hour video with everything that I'm adding in. So, I'm doing a lot of edits. This is the Canet Root powder. And you know, I could pour soap like this all night. If this were a 3-foot deep mold, I'd just keep pouring. I really do enjoy it. This is the Flaxseed Powder. Again, another wonderful but gentle exfoliant. This is the Dock Powder here. And I'm proud to say, grown right here on my own property. Our final ingredient, the lemon peel. And in case you're wondering, I didn't do anything. I didn't drag any skewers, no chopsticks, nothing. I just left it. I wiped the top clean and covered it. I sprayed it with alcohol. I decided to gel this, and I will tell you that in retrospect I would not have done that. And if I had only remembered my previous time I made this soap, I would have known that when you put this through gel, that the herbs darken much more than they would otherwise. But here's what we got, and I found it rather interesting actually. There are some fun patterns here. There are some rust colors, some deep dark purples, some burgundies, the white. There are these various shades of green and golds, and it looks like a fine artistic painting to me. Now, it's mostly dark on the sides. That's just the nature of, that's where it was inside the mold. Now, I didn't cut this. This was inside the brambleberry mode, and I just put the dividers in. And so, yeah, these do need to be cleaned up a bit. But here they are. What do you think? Let me know. I really appreciate you all so much. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, please leave one behind. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you do. And I want to thank all of you new subscribers as well. I'm so glad to have you here. So have a terrific day, everyone, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Goodbye.